The USS Blackstar drifted silently through the dark void of space like a sleeping giant. Captain Lee Haon stood on the bridge watching the stars through the main screen. His ship was hidden in the shadow of a dead moon in the Kepler system. Enemy sensors could find them here. The Blackstar was humanity's greatest secret weapon in Lee Hoon, its guardian. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of systems running at minimum power. Commander Park Soo sat at the tactical station checking weapon systems for the 100th time that day. Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya was down in engineering, making sure their experimental quantum drives stayed stable. Major Choi Dae walked between weapon stations, keeping the gun crews ready for anything. Lee Haon had commanded the Blackstar for 3 years. In that time, they had never fired a shot in anger. Earth Command wanted it that way. The ship was too valuable to risk in normal combat. While other human ships fought and died against the Veilthan Empire, the Blackstar waited for the perfect moment to strike. The Veilthan Empire was winning the war. Everyone knew it, even if nobody wanted to say it out loud. The aliens had conquered dozens of worlds and enslaved entire species. They moved from system to system like a plague. When they finished with a planet, nothing remained but ash and bones. Human colonies were falling one by one. New Tokyo had burned 3 months ago. The mining stations around Proxima had gone silent last week. Each day brought news of fresh defeats. The Human Defense Coalition was fighting hard, but they were losing ground everywhere. Lee Hoon walked to the communication station where Lieutenant Han Sol was monitoring long-range signals. The young officer looked up when his captain approached. "Any word from command, Lieutenant?" "Same orders as always, Captain." "Stay hidden. Wait for instructions. Monitor enemy movements, but do not engage." Lian nodded, but his jaw tightened. Those orders felt like chains around his neck. His ship could turn the tide of battles, but instead, it sat in darkness, doing nothing while humans died. "Sir," Commander Park Soo called from tactical. "I'm picking up something on the emergency frequencies." Lee Haon moved to the tactical station. Park Soo was one of the best tactical officers in the fleet. If he heard something important, it was worth listening to. Put it through the speakers. The bridge filled with static, and then a desperate voice broke through. "This is New Busan Colony calling any human ships. We are under attack. Repeat, we are under attack. Veilthan battle cruisers are in orbit. They demand total surrender. We have 50,000 civilians here, including women and children. Please, if anyone can hear this, we need help." The message repeated 3 times and then cut to static. The bridge fell silent. Every officer was looking at their captain, waiting for orders. New Busan was only 6 hours away at maximum speed. Lee Haon had visited the colony once during peacetime. It was a mining world with families who had built good lives far from Earth. Now those families were about to die. "How many Veilthan ships?" Lee Haon asked. Park Soo checked his sensors. "Long range scans show at least 12 battle cruisers. Maybe more. Standard invasion fleet." "Our orders are clear, Captain," said Navigator Lieutenant Nam Kyu. "We are to remain hidden unless Earth Command gives direct authorization to engage." Lee Haon knew Nam Kyu was right. But he also knew that by the time Earth Command made any decision, New Busan would be a graveyard. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Yoon. Hannah entered the bridge. She had been monitoring the emergency frequencies from the medical bay. Her face was pale but determined. "Captain, that message mentioned civilians. Women and children. If we don't help them, who will?" Security Chief Commander Shin Woo stepped forward.
"House.
"The Veilthan don't take prisoners, sir. You know what they do to colonies that resist?" Everyone on the bridge knew. The Veilthan had a simple policy for worlds that fought back. They would kill every living thing on the planet as an example to others. They called it the price of defiance. Lee Haon closed his eyes and thought about his orders. Earth Command had been very clear. The Blackstar was to stay hidden until the perfect moment came to strike. But what was the perfect moment? When Earth itself was burning. Sir, Communications Officer Han Sol spoke quietly. "The message is repeating. They're begging for help." Lee Haon opened his eyes and looked around the bridge. He saw the faces of his crew. These were the best officers in the human fleet. They had trained for years to fight this war. Now they sat in darkness while innocents died. "How long to reach New Busan at maximum speed?" he asked. 5 hours and 40 minutes, replied Nam-Q. "Time until the Veilthan finish their occupation?" Park Soo checked his tactical display. "Based on their standard procedures, they will give the colony 12 hours to surrender. After that, orbital bombardment begins." Lee Hien did the math in his head. They could reach New Busan with time to spare. The Blackstar could destroy the Veilthan fleet and save 50,000 lives. But doing so would reveal humanity's secret weapon to the enemy. Captain Dr. Yoon Hana said softly, "We became soldiers to protect people. What good is the most powerful ship in the galaxy if we never use it to save lives?" Lee Hien walked to the center of the bridge. Around him, his officers waited for the decision that would change everything. He thought about Earth Command and their careful plans. He thought about the war and the need to keep the Blackstar secret. Then he thought about 50,000 people who would die if he did nothing. "All stations prepare for combat operations," Lee Hien announced. "We're going to New Busan." The bridge came alive with activity. Officers rushed to their posts. Screens lit up with tactical displays. The quiet ship suddenly hummed with purpose. "Sir," Nam-Q said carefully. "Earth Command will not be pleased." Lee Hien smiled grimly. "Then we better make sure this is worth their anger." Set course for New Busan, maximum speed. The USS Blackstar turned toward its destiny. In the depths of space, humanity's greatest weapon finally awakened from its long sleep. The USS Blackstar moved through space like a hunting shark. Captain Lee Hoon stood in the center of the bridge watching his crew prepare for battle. Every officer worked with deadly focus. They all knew this mission would change the course of the war forever. "Engineering report," Lee Hien called out. Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya's voice came through the communication system from deep in the ship. "Quantum drives are stable at 95%. All weapon systems show green. The experimental plasma lances are charged and ready." Lee Hien nodded. The plasma lances were weapons that no other ship in the galaxy possessed. They could cut through any known armor like a hot knife through butter, but they had never been tested in real combat. Navigator Lieutenant Nam-Q checked his instruments. "We will reach New Busan in 4 hours. The Veilthan fleet is still in orbit around the planet." Commander Park Soo looked up from his tactical station.
"Give me, sir. I'm detecting 24 Veilthan battlecruisers now. They brought more ships than..."
"First reported, can we handle 24 cruisers?" Lee Hien asked. Park Soo smiled grimly. "We're about to find out, Captain." The ship's AI system activated with a soft chime. The crew called the AI system GOM because it was smart and protective like a bear. GOM had been learning about Veilthan tactics for 3 years by studying captured battle records. Captain GOM's voice filled the bridge. "Analysis of Veilthan. Fleet formation suggests they are preparing for orbital bombardment. Estimated time until bombardment begins is 7 hours." Dr. Yoon Hana was treating several crew members who had reported stress symptoms. The weight of their mission was affecting everyone. She came to the bridge to check on the command staff. "Is the crew holding up, Doctor?" Lee Hien asked. "They're nervous, but determined. Everyone knows we're doing the right thing. The medical staff is ready for whatever comes next." Security Chief Commander Shin Woo approached the captain. "Sir, I've been thinking about our approach. The Veilthan have never faced stealth technology like ours. They won't know what hit them. What do you recommend?" Lee Hien asked. "We go in fast and hard. Use our quantum stealth to get close, then hit their command ships first. Cut off their leadership, and the rest will panic." Lee Hien considered the plan. The Blackstar's quantum stealth technology was unlike anything in the galaxy. It didn't just hide the ship from sensors. It made the ship appear as empty space itself. Even visual observation would show nothing but stars. Communications Officer Lieutenant Han Sol raised his hand. "Captain, I'm receiving another transmission from New Busan. Put it through." A woman's voice filled the bridge. She sounded terrified, but brave. "This is Mayor Kim So, speaking for New Busan Colony. The Veilthan have given us 6 hours to surrender completely. They want all adult males to report for slave labor. All women and children will be relocated to work camps. We cannot accept these terms. We'd rather die as free humans than live as slaves. The transmission ended. The bridge fell silent. Every officer understood what those words meant. The people of New Busan had chosen to fight even though they had no chance of winning. Mayor Kim Seo has courage, Dr. Yoon Hana said quietly. She's willing to sacrifice everything for freedom. Lee Hyan felt the weight of command heavy on his shoulders. 50,000 people were counting on him to save them, but he was also risking the most important ship in the human fleet. Sir, Major Choi Dae called from the weapons station.
Oh.
Gun crews are ready. The new quantum torpedoes are loaded and armed. The quantum torpedoes were another experimental weapon. They could phase through shields and explode inside enemy ships. But like the plasma lances, they had never been used in real combat. Captain Nam-Q said carefully, I need to ask again. Are you sure about this course of action? Once we attack, there's no hiding what the Blackstar can do. Lee Hyan looked around the bridge at his officers. These people had served with him for years. They trusted his judgment completely. Now he was asking them to risk everything on one battle. Let me ask all of you a question, Lee Hyan said. We have the most powerful ship ever built. We have weapons that can destroy any enemy. We have technology that makes us invisible to their sensors. If we don't use these advantages to save human lives, what good are they? Commander Park Soo spoke first. The captain is right. We didn't become soldiers to hide in the darkness while innocents die. I agree, said Dr. Yoon Hana. Sometimes doing the right thing means breaking the rules. One by one, each officer on the bridge voiced their support. They all understood the risks. They all knew they might be court-martialed if they survived. But they also knew that 50,000 people needed them. Lee Hyan called to the AI, begin combat preparation sequences. Activate all stealth systems. Prepare the crew for battle stations. Acknowledged, Captain, Gom replied. All systems are responding normally. The ship is ready for combat operations. The USS Blackstar began to change as it prepared for war. Armor plates shifted and locked into combat positions. Weapon systems extended from hidden compartments. The quantum drives hummed with increasing power. Kim Arya's voice came from engineering. Captain, the quantum drives are producing more power than we've ever seen. It's like the ship knows we're going into battle. Keep monitoring all systems, Lee Hyan ordered. Want to know if anything goes wrong. As the ship approached New Busan, the crew made final preparations. Weapons were checked and rechecked. Damage control teams stood ready. Medical staff prepared for casualties. Communications officer Han Sol announced.
Ow.
We're receiving veil-thin military communications. They're coordinating their bombardment patterns. What are they saying? Lee Hoon asked. They're planning to destroy the main cities first, and they'll hunt down survivors in the countryside. They want to make an example of New Busan, Lee Hyan's. Hands clenched into fists. The Veil-Thin were not just conquering worlds. They were destroying entire civilizations for sport. Time to destination? He asked. 1 hour and 15 minutes, Nam-Q replied. All hands, this is the Captain Lee. Hyan announced over the ship's communication system. We are approaching New Busan to engage Veil-Thin forces. This will be our first real combat. Remember your training. Trust your shipmates. Remember that 50,000 people are counting on us to save them. The USS Blackstar raced toward its destiny. Behind them lay the safety of hiding. Ahead lay the most important battle in human history. The USS Blackstar appeared at the edge of the New Busan system like a ghost materializing from the void. Captain Lee Hyan stood on the bridge studying the tactical display. 24 Veil-Thin battle cruisers hung in orbit around the planet, like vultures waiting to feed. Stealth systems at maximum, reported Commander Park Soo. We are completely invisible to their sensors. Range to target? Lee Hyan asked. 50,000 kilometers in closing, replied Navigator Lieutenant Nam. Q will be in weapon range in 30 seconds. Lee Hoon could see the enemy ships clearly now. The Veil-Thin cruisers were massive vessels covered in dark armor and bristling with weapons. Each one was twice the size of a human destroyer.
Actually, they represented enough firepower to destroy a dozen worlds. Sir, communications officer.
Lieutenant Han Sol called out. I'm intercepting Veiled communications. They're beginning their final ultimatum to the colony. Put it through. An alien voice filled the bridge. The translation software made it sound cold and mechanical. Humans of New Busan, you have refused our generous offer of slavery. Therefore you have chosen death. Orbital bombardment will begin in 10 minutes. Your defiance ends now. The transmission cut off. Li Haiyan felt anger burning in his chest. The Veilthan spoke of destroying 50,000 lives like it was nothing more than pest control. Captain Dr. Yun Hana said quietly, the colony is transmitting their last message to their families on other worlds. They're saying goodbye. Li Haiyan closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, they were filled with cold determination. All stations, battle stations, prepare to engage. Bridge transformed as combat systems activated. Red lights bathed everything in an eerie glow. Weapon stations came online with electronic humming. The crew moved with practiced precision born from years of training. GOM, target priority analysis, Li Haiyan ordered the AI. 3 command ships. Identified, GOM responded. Destroying them will disrupt enemy coordination. Recommend targeting the flagship first. On the main screen, the largest Veilthan ship glowed with a targeting marker, was positioned in the center of the enemy formation, like a spider in its web. Major Choi, prepare plasma lances, Li Haiyan commanded. Major Choi Day's hands moved. Over his weapon controls, plasma lances charged and ready. Target locked on enemy flagship. Fire. The USS Blackstar's experimental weapons unleashed hell. Beams of pure energy lanced out from the invisible ship.
Ow!
The Veilthan flagship didn't even have time to raise its shields. The plasma lances cut through its armor like paper and exploded. Deep inside the ship, the massive cruiser simply vanished in a ball of fire and debris. One moment it was there, the next it was nothing but scattered metal drifting in space. Direct hit, Major Choi reported. Enemy flagship destroyed. The other Veilthan ships erupted in confusion. Their sensors showed nothing but empty space where the attack had come from. Their communications filled with panicked reports. Sir Lieutenant Han Sol called out, they're trying to locate us. They don't understand what's happening. Let's show them, Li Haiyan said grimly. Target the second command ship. The USS Blackstar moved through space like a hunting predator. Its quantum stealth made it impossible to detect. To the enemy, it was like being attacked by invisible demons. Quantum. Torpedoes ready, Major Choi announced. Fire. The quantum torpedoes phased through the enemy ship's shields and exploded inside its hull. The Veilthan cruiser broke apart from the inside out. Explosions rippled along its length as internal systems failed. 2 command ships down, Commander Park Soo reported. Enemy formation is breaking apart. Remaining Veilthan ships began firing wildly in all directions. Couldn't see their attackers, so they shot at everything, hoping to hit something. Their weapons lit up space with energy beams and missile trails. They're panicking, observed Navigator Nam Q. They've never faced anything like this before. Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya's voice came from engineering. Captain, the quantum drives are performing beyond all expectations. It's like the ship wants to fight. Li Haiyan smiled grimly. Then let's give it what it wants. Target the 3rd command ship. The USS Blackstar struck again. This time it used conventional weapons to confuse the enemy even more. Railgun rounds punched through armor at impossible angles. The Veilthan couldn't understand how weapons fire was coming from empty space. 3 command ships destroyed, Major Choi reported. Enemy fleet is in complete disarray. The remaining Veilthan ships were firing at random now. Some were trying to flee while others attempted to form defensive formations. But without their command ships, they had no coordination. Lieutenant Han Sol announced. I'm picking up transmissions from the planet. The colonists are cheering. They can see the enemy ships being destroyed. Let them cheer, Li Haiyan said. But we're not done yet. There are still 21 enemy ships up there. The USS Blackstar moved through the enemy formation like a shark among minnows. It's advanced. Weapon systems targeted multiple ships simultaneously. Plasma lances carved through armor while quantum torpedoes exploded inside enemy hulls. "Enemy ship countdown to 15, Commander Park Sue announced. "They're trying to retreat. Don't let them escape," Lehan ordered. "We can't let word of this reach the main Veilthan fleet." The USS Blackstar pursued the fleeing ships with relentless efficiency. Its quantum drives allowed it to move faster than any Veilthan vessel. One by one, the enemy cruisers fell to its superior firepower. 10 ships remaining, Major Choi reported. "They're sending distress signals." "Jam their communications, Lee," Han commanded. "No one leaves this system alive." Lieutenant Han Sol worked frantically at his station. Communications jammed. They can't send any messages beyond the system. The battle became a hunt. The USS Blackstar stalked the remaining veil-thin ships through the asteroid fields and gas clouds around New Busan. Each time, an enemy ship thought it was safe. Death struck from the darkness. 5 ships left, Commander Park Sue announced. "There, grouped together, trying to make a stand." "Finish them," Lee Hyon ordered. The USS Blackstar attacked the last group of enemy ships with all weapons firing. Plasma lances and quantum torpedoes struck simultaneously. The remaining Veilthan cruisers exploded in brilliant flashes of light. "All enemy ships destroyed," Major Choi reported. "No survivors detected." The bridge fell silent. In less than 1 hour, the USS Blackstar had destroyed 24 enemy ships without taking a single hit. The crew stared at their displays in amazement. "Sir," Lieutenant Han Sol said quietly, "New Busan Colony is hailing us. They want to thank their rescuers." Lee Hyon thought for a moment. "Tell them they were saved by the Human Defense Coalition. Don't mention the Blackstar specifically." "Yes, sir." As the USS Blackstar prepared to leave the system, Captain Lee Hyon looked at his crew. They had just won humanity's greatest victory against the Veilthan Empire. But they had also revealed that humans possessed weapons beyond alien understanding. "Zet, course for the Outer Rim," Lee Hyon commanded. "We need to disappear before reinforcements arrive." The USS Blackstar vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only the wreckage of an entire enemy fleet. The galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Vexver stood in the command center of the Veilthon warship destroyer of worlds. The massive alien was 12 feet tall with 4 arms and skin like black metal. His red eyes burned with fury as he studied the reports from New Busan. "Ships destroyed," he growled to his staff officers. "No survivors. No distress signals. No enemy casualties detected." The smaller Veilthan officers cowered before their admiral's rage. They had never seen anything like the New Busan incident. An entire fleet had simply vanished without explanation.
What?
"Weapon could destroy our ships so completely?" asked Commander Veltar, the fleet's tactical officer. Unknown Admiral Lexfer replied. "But we will find out. Prepare 200 ships for immediate deployment. We have a ghost to hunt." Meanwhile, the USS Blackstar drifted silently through the Kepler Nebula. The colorful gas clouds provided perfect cover for the ship's quantum stealth systems. Captain Lee Hyon sat in his ready room reviewing after-action reports. "Sir," Commander Park Sue entered the room. "We've completed analysis of the battle data. The crew performed beyond all expectations." Lee Han looked up from his reports. "What about the ship's systems?" "That's the interesting part. Our quantum drives actually became more efficient during combat. The AI system GOM is calling it adaptive enhancement. The ship's technology appears to be learning from combat experience. Every system performed better than design specifications." Lee Hyon leaned back in his chair. The USS Blackstar was already the most advanced ship ever built. It was becoming even more powerful. The possibilities were incredible. "Dr. Yoon." Hannah knocked on the door and entered. "Captain, I need to discuss something important with you." "What is it, Doctor?" "I've been running medical scans on the crew since the battle. The results are unusual." Lee Hyon gestured for her to sit down. "Define unusual." "Everyone's cognitive abilities have increased by 15%. Reaction times are faster. Memory retention is improved. It's like the quantum drives are affecting our brains." Commander Park Sue looked concerned. Are we talking about dangerous side effects? I don't think so, Dr. Yoon-hana replied. The changes appear to be beneficial. The crew is thinking clearer and working more efficiently than ever before. Lee Hee-yeon processed this information. Keep monitoring everyone. If the ship is changing, I want to know how and why. 3 days later, Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya made a discovery in the engineering section. She called Captain Lee Hee-yeon to the quantum drive chamber immediately. Captain, you need to see this, Kim Arya said when Lee Hee-yeon arrived. The quantum drives are behaving in ways we don't understand. Lee Hee-yeon looked at the massive drive cores. They pulsed with blue energy that seemed almost alive. Ash! What's different about them? They're generating power patterns that aren't in any of our technical manuals. It's like they're writing their own programming. Is that dangerous? I don't think so. But it means the ship is becoming something more than what we've built. The quantum drives are evolving. As they spoke, Intelligence Officer Lieutenant Oh-min rushed into the chamber. Captain, we're receiving priority transmissions from across the sector. The Veilthin are mobilizing massive fleets. How massive? Lee Hee-yeon asked. 200 ships. Under Admiral Vexfer, they're calling it the Ghost Hunter Fleet. Lee Hee-yeon felt a chill. The Veilthin had figured out that something new was hunting their ships. Now, they were bringing their best admiral and biggest fleet to find the USS Blackstar. Sir, Communications Officer Lieutenant Han Sol called over the intercom. We're receiving coded transmissions from human resistance cells. They're reporting unusual Veilthin behavior. Lee Hee-yeon headed back to the bridge with his officers. Lieutenant Han Sol was monitoring multiple communication channels. What kind of unusual behavior? Lee Hee-yeon asked. Veilthin patrol ships are avoiding solo missions. They're grouping together in larger formations. Some are refusing to enter systems without backup. Commander Park Soo smiled grimly. They're scared. The new Busan battle has them jumping at shadows. That's not all, Lieutenant Han Sol continued. We're intercepting Veilthin military communications. They're calling us the Shadow Death. Shadow Death, Lee Hee-yeon asked. Their word for an invisible killer that strikes without warning. They've never encountered stealth technology before. Navigator Lieutenant Name Q looked up from his station. Sir, I'm detecting massive fleet movements in the Proxima sector. The Veilthin are pulling ships from 3 different fronts. They're concentrating their forces, Lee Hee-yeon realized. Admiral Vexfer wants to trap us. Security Chief Commander Shin Woo approached the captain. Sir, this might be our chance. They're pulling ships from other sectors, human colonies. Elsewhere might have breathing room. Lee Hoon walked to the center of the bridge. His crew watched him think through their options. They could run and hide, or they could use this opportunity to strike more targets. Gom Lee Hyun called to the AI system. Analysis of Veilthin fleet movements. The enemy is creating a search pattern covering 12 star systems, Gom replied. They are leaving supply convoys and communication stations lightly defended. Supply convoys? 3 major supply lines are operating with minimal escort. Destroying them would severely impact Veilthin military operations. Lee Hee-yeon made his decision. We're not running from Admiral Vexfer. We're going to make him chase us while we destroy everything that keeps his fleet operating. Major Choi Dae looked up from his weapon station. A guerrilla war, sir. Exactly. We'll hit their supply lines, destroy their communication networks, and disappear before they can respond. Dr. Yoon-hana spoke up. Captain, the crew is ready for extended combat operations. The quantum drive effects are making everyone more alert and focused. Then let's give the Veilthin Empire something to really fear, Lee Hee-yeon said. Plot a course to the nearest supply convoy. It's time to show them what the Shadow Death can really do. The USS Blackstar began moving toward its next target. Behind them, Admiral Vexfer was deploying 200 ships to hunt for a ghost. But the ghost was already hunting him. Over the next week, the USS Blackstar struck 6 different targets. Supply convoys vanished without trace. Communication stations went silent. Transport ships disappeared between star systems. Each attack was swift and complete. The USS Blackstar would appear, destroy everything in sight, and vanish back into the void. No Veilthan ship ever survived to report what they had seen. Sir Lieutenant Han Sol reported, Veilthan communications are becoming increasingly frantic. They're calling us the Ship of Shadows now. Good, Li Han replied. Fear is a weapon too. The more they fear us, the more mistakes they'll make. Admiral Dexivor was learning that hunting a ghost was harder than destroying planets. The USS Blackstar had become humanity's sword in the darkness, cutting down enemies who never saw death coming. Captain Li Huyan stood before a holographic map showing the entire sector. Red dots marked Veilthan positions, while blue dots showed human colonies. The red dots were everywhere like a disease spreading across the galaxy. Show me Admiral Vexfer S. Fleet Li Hien commanded. The map zoomed in to show 200 Veilthan ships moving in a massive search pattern. They were hunting for the USS Blackstar, but finding only empty space. Sir Commander Park Su reported, We've destroyed 18 supply convoys in the past 2 weeks. Veilthan forces are running low on fuel and ammunition. Their communications show increasing desperation. Added communications officer, Lieutenant Han Sol. Some ship captains are refusing to leave heavily defended systems.
Oh.
Li Hien smiled grimly. Fear was spreading through the Veilthan fleet faster than any virus. The mighty empire that had conquered dozens of worlds was now afraid of one human ship. Captain, Dr. Yoon Hannah, approached with her medical scanner. I need to update you on the crew's condition. What have you found? The quantum drive exposure is continuing to enhance cognitive abilities. The crew is now operating at 30%, above baseline human capacity. Reaction times, memory, problem solving, everything is improved. Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya joined them from the engineering section. The ship itself is changing too. Quantum drives are generating new energy. Patterns daily. It's like the USS Blackstar is learning to become more than we designed. Is it safe? Li Hien asked. The changes appear beneficial, Dr. Yoon Hannah replied. But we're entering unknown territory. We're becoming something new. Intelligence officer. Lieutenant Omin hurried onto the bridge with an urgent report. Captain, we've intercepted high-priority Veilthan communications. They're planning something called Operation Final Strike. What is Operation Final Strike? Li Hien asked. Admiral Lexfer is gathering every available ship at Proxima Tertius. He's creating a trap using human prisoners as bait. The bridge fell silent. Everyone understood what that meant. The Veilthan were going to execute human prisoners unless the USS Blackstar came to fight them. How many prisoners? Oh. Li Hien asked quietly. Approximately 10,000 from various captured colonies. They're being held on the planet's surface. Li. Hyun felt anger burning in his chest. The Veilthan were using innocent people as weapons against him. It was a trap, but he couldn't let 10,000 humans die. Sir, Navigator Lieutenant Nam Q spoke carefully. Admiral Vexfer will have every ship in the sector waiting for us. It's exactly what he wants. I know it's a trap, Li Hien replied. But those are our people. We can't abandon them. Major Choi Dae looked up from his weapons station. How many ships are we talking about? Lieutenant Omin checked his intelligence reports. Latest estimates show 500 ships. Admiral Dexfer has called in reinforcements from 3 different fleets. 500 ships, repeated Security Chief Commander Shin Woo. Even with our advantages, those are impossible odds. Li Hien walked to the center of the bridge. His crew watched him wrestle with the most difficult decision of his life. Save 10,000 prisoners, or preserve humanity's secret weapon. Gom Li Hun called to the AI system. Combat analysis for engaging 500 enemy ships. Probability of mission success is 12%, Gom replied. However, new quantum drive capabilities have not been fully tested in large-scale combat. New capabilities? Quantum drives are generating power levels far beyond original specifications. The ship may be capable of tactics not previously possible. Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya's voice came from engineering. Captain, I've been monitoring the quantum cores. They're producing energy signatures I've never seen before. It's like they're preparing for something massive, Dr. Yoon Hannah added. The crew's enhanced abilities might give us advantages we don't fully understand yet. Li Heian made his decision. We're going to Proxima Tertius. Those prisoners are counting on us. Sir Commander Park Sue asked. What's our strategy against 500 ships? We're going to use every advantage we have. Our stealth technology, our advanced weapons, and whatever new capabilities this ship has developed. The USS Blackstar began its journey toward the largest battle in galactic history. As they traveled, the crew prepared for what might be their final mission. Captain Lieutenant Han Sol reported, "We're intercepting veil-thin communications from Proxima Tertius. Admiral Vexfer is broadcasting to the entire Empire. Put it through." Admiral Vexfer's voice filled the bridge. To the human ship that calls itself Shadow Death, you have destroyed our vessels and disrupted our operations. Now you face the might of the veil-thin Empire. Come to Proxima Tertius and face judgment, or watch 10,000 of your kind die slowly. Transmission ended. The bridge was quiet except for the hum of ship systems. He's very confident, observed Navigator Nam Q. Confidence can be a weakness, Li Heian replied. Admiral Vexfer thinks he knows what we're capable of. It's about to learn he's wrong. As they approached Proxima Tertius, the USS Blackstar's systems began behaving strangely. The quantum drives pulsed with new rhythms. Energy readings spiked beyond anything in the technical manuals. Captain Kim, Arya, called from engineering. The quantum drives are doing something unprecedented. They're creating multiple quantum fields simultaneously. What does that mean? Not entirely sure, but the energy output suggests we might be able to generate multiple quantum signatures. Dr. Yoon Hana was monitoring the crew's condition. Everyone's cognitive enhancement is increasing as we approach the battle zone. It's like the ship is preparing us for something extraordinary. Sir, Communications Officer Han Sol announced, we're receiving a transmission from the prisoners on Proxima Tertius. Titus, put it through. A weak human voice came through the speakers. This is Colonel Parkman speaking for the prisoners of Proxima Tertius. We know this is a trap. Don't sacrifice your ship for us. The galaxy needs you more than it needs us. Li Heian closed his eyes. Even facing death, these people were thinking about the greater good. Send a message back, Li Heian ordered. Tell them help is coming. What should I say? Lieutenant Han Sol asked. Tell them the USS Blackstar never abandons its own. As they entered the Proxima system, sensors detected the largest fleet ever assembled. 500 veil-thin ships waited, in perfect formation around the planet, Sir Major Choi Day reported. All weapons ready. Quantum torpedoes loaded. Plasma lances charged. Stealth systems at maximum, added Commander Park Sue. Li Heian looked at his crew. They had come so far together. Now they faced their greatest challenge. All hands, this is the captain, Li Heian announced. We're about to engage 500 enemy ships to rescue 10,000 prisoners. The odds are against us, but we have something they don't. We have each other, and we have the finest ship ever built. The USS Blackstar entered the battle zone, like a ghost seeking vengeance. Admiral Dexver's trap was about to become his nightmare. The USS Blackstar hung invisible in space at the edge of the Proxima Tertius system. Captain Li Hoon stared at the tactical display showing 500 veil-thin ships arranged in perfect defensive formations around the planet. It was the largest fleet ever assembled in galactic history. Analysis complete, reported the AI system GOM. Enemy fleet consists of 100 battlecruisers, 200 destroyers, 150 frigates, and 50 command ships. Total firepower equivalent to planetary bombardment capability. Admiral Vexver's flagship dominated the center of the formation. The massive dreadnought was 3 times larger than any other ship in the fleet. Its weapons could destroy moons. Sir, Communications Officer Lieutenant Han Sol announced. Admiral Dexver is broadcasting on all frequencies. Put it through. Alien Admiral's voice filled the bridge. Human ship, you have 1 hour to surrender yourself. After that, we begin executing prisoners. 10 humans will die every minute until you show yourself. The transmission ended. Captain Li Hoon felt the weight of 10,000 lives pressing down on him. Captain Dr. Yoon Hana said quietly. The crew's cognitive enhancement has reached 40% above baseline. Everyone is thinking clearer and faster than ever before. Lieutenant Commander Kim Arya's voice came from engineering. Sir, the quantum drives are doing something incredible. They're generating multiple quantum signatures simultaneously. Explain that in simple terms, Li Heian requested. The ship can appear to be in several places at once. It could theoretically create the illusion of multiple USS Blackstars attacking from different directions. Li Heian's enhanced mind immediately grasped the tactical possibilities. How many false signatures can we generate? Based on current power levels, possibly dozens. The quantum drives are producing energy beyond anything we thought possible. Commander Park Soo looked up from his tactical station. Sir, if we can make them think they're fighting multiple ships, we might actually have a chance. Prepare for combat, Li Heian ordered. We're going to give Admiral Dexfer the fight of his life. The USS Blackstar began moving toward the enemy fleet. As it approached, the quantum drives started generating false signatures. On veil-thin sensors, dozens of ghost ships suddenly appeared throughout the system. Contact, Major Choi Day announced. Multiple quantum signatures active. We appear as 24 separate vessels to enemy sensors. Admiral Vexfer's fleet immediately went to high alert. They found themselves facing what appeared to be an entire human battle group that had materialized from nowhere. Sir, Lieutenant Han Sol reported. Veil-thin communications are in chaos. I think we brought a fleet. Let them think that, Li Han replied. All phantom signatures, begin attack patterns. The USS Blackstar struck first. Plasma lances reached out from seemingly empty space and destroyed 3 veil-thin cruisers instantly. At the same time, quantum torpedoes appeared to launch from ghost ships throughout the system. Direct hits on multiple targets, Major Choi reported. Enemy fleet is breaking formation. The veil-thin ships began firing in all directions at targets they couldn't properly see. Their weapons lit up space with energy beams and missile trails. But most shots hit nothing but vacuum. Meanwhile, the real USS Blackstar moved through their formation like death itself. Its weapons fired from impossible angles as the quantum signatures made it appear to teleport around the battlefield. 50 enemy ships destroyed, Commander Park Soo announced. They can't coordinate their defenses against multiple apparent targets. Admiral Vexfer's voice roared over the communications channels. All ships concentrate fire on the largest signature. Destroy the human flagship. The veil-thin fleet focused their attack on what appeared to be the main USS Blackstar. But they were shooting at empty space while the real ship attacked from behind their lines. 100 enemy ships destroyed, Major Choi reported. Admiral Dexfer's flagship is turning to engage. The massive alien dreadnought brought its main weapons to bear. Energy beams powerful enough to crack planets reached out toward the USS Blackstar. But the quantum signatures made targeting impossible. Evasive maneuvers, Li Heian ordered. Take us directly at their flagship. The USS Blackstar charged straight at Admiral Vexfer's dreadnought while maintaining multiple quantum signatures. To the enemy, it looked like dozens of human ships were attacking simultaneously. All weapons, target the flagship, Li Heian commanded. Every weapon on the USS Blackstar fired at once. Plasma lances, quantum torpedoes, and railgun rounds struck the alien dreadnought from multiple apparent directions. The massive ship's shields flared and failed under the impossible assault. Direct hit on enemy flagship, Major Choi announced. Admiral Dexfer's ship is breaking apart. The alien dreadnought exploded in a ball of fire that lit up the entire system. With their supreme commander dead, the remaining veil-thin ships fell into complete panic. Sir, Lieutenant Han Sol called out. Enemy ships are trying to retreat. Some are surrendering. No survivors, Li Heian said coldly. They showed no mercy. 2 human prisoners, we show none to them. The USS Blackstar hunted down the fleeing ships with ruthless efficiency. Its quantum signatures made escape impossible as the ship appeared to be everywhere at once. 200 enemy ships destroyed, Commander Park Soo reported. 300 destroyed, 400 destroyed. The slaughter continued until only wreckage remained. 500 veil-thin ships had been reduced to floating debris in less than 2 hours. All enemy vessels destroyed, Major Choi announced. No survivors detected. The bridge fell silent, except for the hum of cooling weapon systems. The crew stared at their displays in amazement. They had just won the impossible victory. "Sir," Communications Officer Han Sol spoke quietly. "The prisoners on the planet are hailing us. They want to thank their rescuers." "Tell them they were rescued by the Human Defense Coalition," Lee Hyun replied. "Don't mention the USS Blackstar by name." As rescue ships arrived to collect the liberated prisoners, the USS Blackstar prepared to disappear once again into the darkness of space. "Captain," Dr. Yoon Hana said, "what we accomplished here will change the course of the war. The Veilthan Empire has lost their best admiral and their largest fleet. The galaxy will remember this day," added Commander Park Soo, "the day the tide turned against the Veilthan Empire." Lee Hyun walked to the center of the bridge and looked at his crew. They had become something more than human through their bond with the ship. Together, they had achieved the impossible. "Set course for deep space," Lee Hyun ordered. "We have work to do." The USS Blackstar vanished into the void, leaving behind only the wreckage of an entire fleet. Across the galaxy, Veilthan forces received the devastating news. Admiral Dexaver was dead. 500 ships were destroyed. The Shadow Death had struck again. From that day forward, no Veilthan ship would travel alone. The mighty empire that had conquered dozens of worlds now feared the darkness between stars. Somewhere in that darkness, the USS Blackstar waited like a hunting predator. The war was far from over, but the galaxy had learned an important truth. Humanity would never surrender, and when humans fought back, no enemy lived to tell the tale.